Begin.
Hi, this is Steven Borne. I'm going to just walk you briefly through the concepts around my book, Consuming Government. So if we start with politics is the process we use to manage all the government we buy. Unfortunately, right now, we have the two parties. And what happens with them, along with gerrymandering, by the way, it's a hard G, it's named after Elbridge Gerry, and all the money that's poured into the campaigns to elect the two parties, it becomes win at all costs and make the other side look bad. And what's happening is it's pushing everyone to the edges. And as you can see, the country is about to hit a breaking point and we could snap, right? The other thing is the way things are today, it's working great for those with the money, all right? But for everyone else, it's getting much harder to move up. Now, realize the playing field's never been level, but it's never gotten steeper. And so we're terribly frustrated and people feel powerless to do anything because they feel the government, this huge flywheel's too big, they can't do anything, they can't make a difference, all right? And this one person isn't gonna, do much. But the solution really is for all of us to do a little bit. None of us has to do a lot, but we all need to be doing something. And that's the real panacea for it, right? Because what we need to do is choose to spend some of our time to better manage our government. We don't have to be working on the same thing or in sync, but if we're all pushing together, we'll eventually slow this flywheel down and get it moving in the other direction. And that's where consuming government comes in. It creates a vernacular in the way that we can talk about things to address our problems. So there's two things that everyone in the country has in common. The first is our economy, and I refer to it as our economic flywheel. Some people will benefit from others more, but others less, but we will all be connected to that flywheel. The other one is that we all have this tremendous pride of being part of this great democracy. Unfortunately, it's not working very well right now. And there's no reason why government's inefficient and ineffective and working like this. It's only like that because we tolerate. So we need to change. And so what consuming government does is breaks things down into 4 segments where we can actually talk about things and start at the bottom level, start locally to be doing things to change the way we manage all the government we buy. And we can make the decision to have the most cost-effective and efficient government in the world, and that's a global competitive advantage. So the first is break. So picture that flywheel spinning. You have things leaning against that flywheel, sucking energy out of our economy. The broken business and medicine is one. Crime is another. Anything that we do that pulls back on that brake puts more energy back in our flywheel. All right. We also have things that are weights. The debt is the best example of that. So picture in every single revolution of that flywheel, we have to fight through that weight. Anything that we do to reduce those weights, that's more energy into our economic flywheel. The next is that flywheel has to spin on an axle. And what happens is if we have things like the Do Nothing Congress, we're paying them all the money and they get nothing done, that's sand on the axle that we have a tremendous amount of energy in our flywheel. We can fight through it, but it's not working very effectively and efficiently. Anything that we do, taking the big money out, the apathy, those things put more energy into the economic flywheel. The last is grease on the axle. And these are the things that we choose to put in the time and the effort to make sure we're getting better value, hopefully at less cost, year over year for all the government we're buying. And that's where consuming government, the title comes in. We need to choose to be better consumers of our money that we're spending around our government. And so across these 4 segments, the book is filled with ideas and things that people can be doing on a local level. What has to happen next is people need to read the book and start talking to each other. Thank you.